Raw, uncut, and unapologetic. Welcome to Men Talking Mindfulness.
A goal is really kind of a dream with legs, to use a quote that I don't remember who quoted it, maybe Michael Scott or Wayne Gretzky. I don't know which one. So goal pursuit then is the process of pursuing those objectives that you want to accomplish and then growing through the process, right? And then when I described it, you had the quote, it's going on a road trip. And, but we as humans don't have a very good GPS that's built into us. I mean, we do, the hippocampus, right? Kind of help us, it helps us navigate things in ourselves in the world. But in terms of like figuring out who we are now and who we want to be in the future and what do we want to accomplish, like we're not very good at that. We have to have a system and a process. And what I love about goal pursuit is that it's one of the most evidence-based processes that are out there. It actually doesn't even come from what I teach isn't just from sport and performance psychology. It comes from positive psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy, acceptance of commitment training, mindfulness, right? So I'm very much an interdisciplinary practitioner. So this comes from social psychology. And the seminal authors are Locke and Latham. I believe they taught at the Ohio State University. I'm not sure if they're still there or not too, but they did a bunch of studies on this. And what they found, what was interesting is that, it's contrary to kind of, conventional wisdom, is that the higher and harder the goals are, the actually more likely you are to achieve them, right? And so that's what's interesting in that too. But a lot of people, it's interesting to me is that goal pursuit is what I call it, but it's called goal setting in the literature. Is that actually it's interesting to me. There's a lot of influencers who are out there who are really down on goals. Like, hey, goals are overrated, and really down in the mouth in terms of goals, right? I was actually pretty surprised. I love James Clear, but I was really surprised that he was really knocking goals in Atomic Habits. I reread it.
I think I have Atomic Habits.
And I think because he has a misconception about the process, right? Because goal pursuit has two aspects to it. And then I teach the 4 C's of mental toughness. And so when I teach goal pursuit,
let me bring that up.
Yeah. You want to throw that up there?
Yeah.
I won't get into the whole thing. That'll take forever. But the 4 C's of mental toughness, this comes from AQR International. This is what I teach. Yes, mental toughness is actually a thing. Mental toughness is the ability and willingness to be able to execute a set of tasks at the upper range of your potential, regardless of circumstances. In other words, mental toughness, I say, is getting the most out of what you have to be at your best when it matters the most, right? And it's about optimal performance. Like I said, it's not about peak performance or high performance. It's about getting the most. When you have your C game, how do you still get a C plus, right? That's what Ken Riise used to say. Who was a late great mentor of mine. But then when you look at the commitment side, there's control, commitment, challenge, and confidence. Those are the 4 elements. There's 2 sub-factors. And so when I look at commitment, you see there's 2 really key aspects to goal pursuit. One of them is about goal orientation. And what that's about is about the process, right? That's the process of taking the steps one thing at a time and the attitudes and behaviors that associated with, the journey, right? Like if you're going on a road trip, and this is like going on a mission, right? The other piece is achievement orientation. Now that's actually what James Clear and a lot of people are thinking about, because they're thinking about getting stuff done and achieving results. So it actually takes both of those things. And the reason why goal pursuit is so valuable to us as human beings, as individuals and teams, is because it gives us purpose, or a why for doing something. It gives us direction. In terms of orient us towards, the right actions and attitudes. And it gives us motivation, purpose, and direction, right? And the motivation piece is both external and internal, but the most important piece that it does is the internal motivational factors, right? Which is autonomy, mastery, and purpose, right? And so there's a lot of reasons why it is. And then but the most important thing is the how-to, right? So that's a little bit of the what and the so what.
Listen to the full episode on our podcast, Men Talking Mindfulness, or watch it here on YouTube. Thanks for checking us out. mentalkingmindfulness.com. Peace.